So, hello Derek, what's going on down there?
Hi Derek, nice to meet you.
Thank you, it's wonderful to be here. Hello to Tung and Ha in the studio, and I'm really excited to be talking to people in Vietnam today.
So hi Derek, we're going to pick your brain today, and the first question I have for you is obviously a lot of people can choose to study a trade, a craft when they're in high school age. So could you maybe walk us through the kind of high schools available in Australia and what are the target audiences for each type of school?
Yes, Australia has a very strong school system and a strong system for supporting international students who come to this country. There are around 20,000 international students studying in schools in Australia each year, and they're very well looked after and get a great experience. There are three types of schools in Australia. There are government schools, and then there are independent schools, and then there are Catholic schools. And all three deliver excellent outcomes for their students and are very strongly regulated by the government, both the federal government and our state governments. The largest system is the government school system, and government schools will consist of many small government primary schools of perhaps around 600 to 800 students who do a great job, and then larger secondary schools of somewhere between 800 and 2,500 students. And each of those schools will then deliver their own state or territory certificate of education as the students go through to year 12. The Catholic schools are similar, with many small primary schools and then some larger secondary schools, and some schools that go all the way through from primary to secondary. And most of the independent schools make up a large part of the sector, around 11% of the total sector in Australia. The school sector is strongly regulated. The government has a lot of safety and compliance components which make sure that it's safe for all students. It's very high quality, very highly regarded around the world, and the outcomes for students are very, very strong.
That's fascinating, Derek. Obviously, for international students, they won't have the kind of support system that they enjoy here in Vietnam with their family around. So could you maybe introduce to the viewers the kind of support available to international students when they go to a place as far away as Australia?
Australian schools are a very safe place to study for international students. There's a lot of regulation and compliance around the schools that the government's put in to ensure that safety. For example, in my school in Victoria, every teacher has to have a 4-year university teaching degree. They have to be registered with the Institute of Teaching, and they must have every 5 years a police check to make sure that every element of their capacity to teach and their character and their ability to look after the students is thought of. There's also regulations around schools accepting international students, and every school that takes international students will have a specific dedicated person who will look after the welfare and the well-being of those students to make sure that they are part of an inclusive environment, that they fit into the school, and that their health and their welfare is looked after, and that communications with parents back home in Vietnam are carried out regularly, and the parents are kept informed of the progress of your daughters or your sons.
Thank you, Derek, for the insight. Now, Ms. Ha and I were talking at length about the different qualifications as well as the certificates that are unique to each region and each state in Australia. And could you maybe share with us how these certificates gear students towards global readiness?
Yes, if you choose to come to Australia to study for a Year 12 certificate, you will be doing the certificate of the state or territory that you go to school in most cases. And each of them is different, but they all feed through into the Australian Tertiary Admissions Ranking, the ATAR. And that ATAR then is the national scale that ranks students and gives them the choices and opportunities as to which universities or what further study they will go on to. The great thing about doing any of the Australian certificates and getting the ATAR is that it opens up the world for you. It's accepted, the certificates are accepted in all the different countries of the world, and we have many students each year, both local students and international students, who complete their Victorian Certificate of Education and go on to great global universities in America or in the United Kingdom, as well as, of course, the universities in Australia. Another great thing about the certificates in Australia is that there's a lot of choice. In nearly all of those certificates you have a lot of choice around the subjects that you choose, and you can, if you enjoy studying a wide range of subjects, you can do that. Or if you're a real maths science specialist, for example, you can focus on those as well. So there's a lot of choice for students when they come out to Australia to study.